My name is Evelyn. I was 58 years old when I died in a hospital bed, clutching a worn photo of my only son, James. 10 years before, he had been shot and killed during a robbery gone wrong. I told myself I had forgiven the boy who took his life, but deep down, bitterness was slowly destroying me. Before all this, my life was simple, small, but full. I was a single mom. My husband walked out when James was just a toddler, so it was always the two of us against the world. I worked as a receptionist in a doctor's office in our little New York town. My days were routine, filing papers, answering phones. But my real joy began at 5 p.m. when I could go home and just be James's mom. James was everything to me. His laugh could light up an entire house. He wasn't just a good kid. He was a good soul. He dreamed of becoming a history teacher, wanting to inspire kids who didn't have much, to show them that their past didn't have to decide their future. He was my pride, my joy, my reason for breathing. And then came the night that split my life in two. He was 25, heading home after a late study session at the university library. He stopped at a corner store for a soda. Wrong place, wrong time. An 18-year-old boy was in the middle of a robbery. The police said he panicked when James walked in. He fired. Just like that, my son was gone. They caught him. His name was Dante. I went to every court date. I sat on those hard benches, staring at the back of his head, burning with the hope he could feel even a fraction of my pain. When he was sentenced to life in prison, I felt nothing, just an empty, frozen hollow inside. My church friends told me, "Evelyn, you need to forgive him for your own peace." I nodded, said the words out loud, even prayed them. But at night, when silence filled the house, anger would crawl back in, hot and poisonous. I'd see Dante's mugshot, and rage would twist my prayers. Why was my son gone while this boy still drew breath? For 10 long years, I carried that bitterness like a stone in my chest. It weighed on me every morning, every night. I didn't realize it was killing me. Until one day, it did. At 58, my heart gave out. A massive heart attack. I remember the fire in my chest, my sister's panicked voice, the blur of hospital lights. I remember gripping James's graduation photo, his wide, radiant smile. And then, suddenly, the pain stopped. The beeping machines faded. Fear melted away. I felt myself lift, light as a feather on a breath. I wasn't in my body anymore. I could see the doctors, my sister crying, but it all felt distant. Darkness came, but it wasn't frightening, just a still, waiting quiet. Then, far ahead, a warm golden light began to glow. Not blinding, inviting, like coming home. I found myself in a field of golden wheat, swaying though there was no wind. The sky shimmered in colors I had never seen, soft swirls of lavender and gold. Silence surrounded me, but it was alive, humming with love. Then I heard it. A voice, not through my ears, but inside me, ancient and familiar as my own heartbeat. "Evelyn." I turned, and there he was. Jesus. Not like the pictures from Sunday school, but real. His presence was like breathing for the first time after years of suffocation. He wore simple, earth-toned clothes, but his very being glowed with a soft light, like the heart of a candle flame. He didn't just look at me. He looked into me. And in his eyes the color of pure compassion, I saw myself. Not the broken, bitter woman I had become, but the Evelyn I was always meant to be, whole, radiant. I wept. Not from sadness, but from a release I had never known. He didn't speak right away. He simply stood with me in the silence until he reached out his hand. When I took it, it wasn't like skin touching skin, it was completion. Every shattered piece of me was being put back together. The warmth of his touch filled me, and the golden field around us seemed to glow brighter. Then he smiled. "Come." His voice sang within me, tender and strong. "There is something you need to see." He led me toward a river, not of water, but of light. Clear, crystalline, alive, flowing with a sound like countless tiny glass bells. As I stood on its bank, watching its beauty shimmer, I felt 10 years of pain finally begin to wash away. And then I looked across the river and my heart stopped. It was him. It was James, my son. He was standing on the other side and he looked perfect. He was whole, radiant. He was wearing a simple white shirt and he was laughing, his head thrown back just like he used to do when he heard a good joke. He looked so happy, so full of life and joy. It took my breath away. "Maddie!" I screamed his name. My voice was choked with tears. "My boy." He turned and his smile was brighter than the Sunday. "Mom!" He called back and he waved. His whole face lit up with love. Oh, that beautiful face. My heart felt like it was going to burst with joy. I wanted to run to, plunge into that river of light and hold my son again. But then I saw someone was standing next to him. Another young man. He was standing beside Matthew and he had his hand on Matthew's shoulder. They were smiling at each other like old friends. I squinted, trying to see his face. There was something familiar about him. A knot of confusion tightened in my stomach. Jesus squeezed my hand gently. "Look closer, Evelyn." I looked, and the world fell out from under me. The face of the young man standing next to my son, laughing with my son. It was Dante, the boy who killed him. I stumbled back. A scream was trapped in my throat. I couldn't breathe. It couldn't be. It was wrong. All wrong. He was supposed to be in prison. He was supposed to be suffering. He was a murderer. What was he doing here? What was he doing next to my son? I turned to Jesus, my eyes wild with confusion and a fresh wave of that old familiar rage. "No," I whispered, shaking my head. "Number. Why is he here? He doesn't belong here. He killed my baby." Tears were streaming down my face now, hot and angry. All the peace I had felt just moments before was gone, replaced by a storm of pain. Jesus looked at me, his eyes filled not with judgment, but with a deep, heartbreaking sadness for me. His voice was gentle, but the truth in it was as solid as a mountain. "He called on me in prison, Evelyn," he said softly. 5 years after he was sentenced, he fell to his knees on the cold floor of his cell, and he wept. He repented. He gave his life to me. He is my child now too. The words hit me harder than a physical blow. I couldn't accept it. It wasn't fair. Justice was supposed to mean he paid for what he did for the rest of his life. "But my son," I choked out. "Look what he did to my son." Across the river, James looked at me. His smile was gone, replaced with a look of pure, gentle love. He looked at Dante and then he looked back at me. He nodded, a silent message passing between us. "Your son forgave him the moment he arrived here," Jesus said, his voice washing over me. James's heart was free. "But you My daughter, you have been the one in a prison. You have been chained by bitterness for 10 years. I fell to my knees in the golden wheat. It was true. A sob tore through my body, a sound of agony from the deepest part of my soul. I had lied to my friends, to my church, to myself. I had never forgiven him. I had held on to my hate like it was a precious treasure, like it was the only thing connecting me to my son's memory. I thought my anger honored him, but it had only been a poison, a heavy anchor dragging my own soul into the darkness. I didn't know how, I cried, my face buried in my hands. I tried. I said the words, but my heart was so full of hate. I couldn't let it go. Jesus knelt beside me. He didn't touch me, but I felt his presence wrap around me like a warm blanket. Forgiveness is not a feeling, Evelyn, he said. It is a choice. It is the key that unlocks your own cage. It does not excuse what he did. It does not erase the pain. It sets you free. He gently placed his hand over my heart. I could feel a strange, cold, heavy knot deep inside my chest. It was the bitterness. It felt like a tangled ball of black thorns, and I realized I had been carrying it for so long, I had forgotten what it felt like to not have it there. Watch what happens when you truly choose to forgive, he whispered. I took a shaky breath. I looked across the river at Dante's face. For the first time, I didn't see a monster. I saw a scared kid who made a terrible life-shattering mistake. I saw a soul that Jesus had seen fit to save, and I saw my own son standing beside him, waiting. I forgive him, I whispered, and this time I meant it. I said it again louder. I forgive you, Dante. The moment the words left my lips, something happened inside me. The black knot of thorns in my chest, it shattered. It didn't just dissolve. It exploded into a million pieces of dust. And where it had been, a warm, brilliant light poured in, filling every empty, broken space inside of me. It was a light so pure, so full of peace and joy that I gasped. I could breathe. I could truly, deeply breathe for the first time in a decade. The weight was gone. The stone was gone. I was light. I was free across the river. Matthew's face broke into that beautiful smile again, and he started to run. He ran right into the river of light, and it didn't slow him down. He came splashing through it, and the light clung to him like sparkling diamonds. He ran right to me, and he threw his arms around me. I held my son. I held my boy. I buried my face in his shoulder, and I could smell the familiar scent of him, that mix of laundry soap and sunshine that I thought I had forgotten. I was home. Mom, he whispered in my ear, his voice full of love. I've been waiting for you to let go. I cried, but they were tears of pure joy now. I held him tight and never wanted to leave. I looked at Jesus, who was smiling at us both. Can I stay? I begged him. Please, I want to stay here with him. It was the only thing I wanted, to stay in this peace, in this light with my son forever. The thought of going back to that broken world, to that broken body, it was unbearable. Jesus' smile was kind, but his eyes held a gentle purpose. Your work on earth is not finished, Evelyn. But what work? I asked, clinging to Matthew. I have nothing left. You have your story, he said. There are other hearts chained just like yours was. They are trapped in prisons of their own making, weighed down by bitterness and unforgiveness. You have held the key in your hand. Now go show them how to use it. He looked at me with so much love, and I knew he was right. Matthew kissed my forehead. It's okay, Mom. I'll be right here waiting. It's not goodbye. Just see you later." He let go of me and the light of the field began to fade. The beautiful chiming sound of the river grew fainter. I felt that gentle pull again, but this time it was pulling me backward, away from the light, away from my son. "I love you, Maddie," I cried out. "I love you too, Mom." His voice echoed back as the darkness returned. The next thing I knew, I was gasping for air, a violent, painful gasp. My chest felt like it had been struck by lightning. The lights above me were blinding. I heard a voice yell, "We've got a pulse!" She's back. My eyes fluttered open. I was in the hospital room. A doctor was shining a light in my eyes. My sister was sobbing, holding my hand. I was alive. I just started weeping. Not from pain or from the sadness of leaving my son. I was weeping from relief, from the freedom. The nurses thought I was hysterical from the trauma. They didn't understand that I had just left heaven. The doctors told me I had been clinically dead for 11 minutes. They couldn't explain how I came back with no brain damage. They called it a miracle. I knew it was more than that. It was a message. Jesus sent me back to tell you what I saw. He sent me back to tell you that forgiveness isn't about letting someone off the hook. It has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with you. Holding on to bitterness, anger, and hatred doesn't punish the person who hurt you. It punishes you. It's a poison you drink, hoping the other person will die. It's a cage you build for yourself, brick by painful brick. I know there is someone watching this right now, and you are holding on to a pain so deep you think it will destroy you if you let it go. You think your anger is all you have left, but it's not. It's the one thing standing between you and your healing. It's the one thing blocking the light. Jesus showed me that his love is big enough to cover everyone, even the people we think are unforgivable. And he showed me that forgiveness is not just an idea. It's a doorway. It's the doorway out of the prison of your past and into a life of peace. You don't have to feel it to do it. You just have to choose it. Just whisper the words. Let the key turn in the lock. Let go. Let the light in. He's waiting for